If you want to mix up purples but they always turn out muddy or dull and you just can't seem to get them straight, don't worry, you are in the right place. And it is not your fault, you just haven't been taught right. Most people incorrectly think that mixing purple is all about just snagging up a red and a blue. Or you just grab a tube of pre-mixed violet and call it a day. Or you get really crafty and you try to make a color chart of all the different purples you can make, and you think it's being productive when in fact those color charts are completely useless. So if you have been on the purple struggle bus before, you know that there is more to it. And you might be wondering, what is that more that you don't know about? Color mixing is not about recipes, it's about principles. And often using pre-mixed tubes of purples actually makes your life a lot harder, and it makes it more challenging to get to the purple that you want. So in this video, we are pulling out our reds and our blues in order to match the colors we have to these delectable wildflowers that are blooming right now. And even if you are not a wildflower person, don't worry, you still are gonna learn so much about how to mix purples. We are gonna walk through how to pick your starting colors, how to adjust as you go, and how to truly observe the colors that you are aiming for. By the way, hey, what's up? My name is Julian. I am an artist, a landscape watercolorist, and trust me, I have wasted more paint than you can imagine trying to mix up purples. But once I stopped relying on color charts and color recipes and started understanding colors and understanding the principles behind them, everything changed. That shift took me from a frustrated hobbyist painter to a gallery represented and award-winning painter who has had the fortune of teaching thousands of students just like yourself to become the artist they've dreamed of. All right, it's time to strap on our bare feet and go exploring for some wildflowers. Let's do it. It is such a beautiful morning out here. So it is the middle-ish of June and we've had some really nice warm weather, but it kind of looks like it might rain today. So hopefully I can get some purple flowers before it starts pouring on us. So I know there is a patch of Rocky Mountain Pesminton over here. They're so lovely and quintessential purple. Hello. Hello. All right, I think there are some nasty hound's tongue weeds over here. Hound's tongue are super noxious weeds where we live, but they have a beautiful purple flower on them. So hopefully we can find some of those too. So this is more of a like red purple. We're just going to pick a lot of these guys because they turn into this nasty, nasty weed. Yuck. However, they are a beautiful flower. Alright, so now that we are in the studio, just before we began, I really wanted to help you locate just the basics of where purple is on the color wheel and just tell you some basic things about it. So this is broken, by the way, which is one of the reasons I hate these super cheap color wheels, but purple is located right here on the color wheel. It is between red and blue, and the complement of it is yellow. Purple, of course, can be mixed by using red and blue and mixing them together in different ratios. So depending on how you mix your cool and your warm reds with your cool and your warm blues, you are going to end up with either vivid or dull purples. Purple itself can lean either towards cool or warm, so either more towards red or more towards blue, which is something called color bias, which all colors do lean either warm or cool. Which, if you are interested in learning more about color bias, aka some people call it color temperature, I actually have a free color mixing workshop where we dive into that together. And if you are interested in joining that free workshop, you can claim your seat by clicking in the link down below in the description so you can sign up. Just a note about these color wheels, these super cheap ones have so many problems with them. And one of the problems is the lack of range of colors that you see on it. You can mix so many more purples than what they show you here, which is one of the reasons a lot of people struggle with mixing purples, because this cheapo thing just doesn't do it justice. All right, so we're gonna start with the penstemons, and one of the things that people really struggle with is getting the color right to begin with. And the fastest way to get the wrong color is to start with the wrong color. And the fastest way to get the wrong color is to start with a pre-mixed tube. So like I said, when you are just reaching for a pre-mixed tube, you are really ignoring all of the nuances that are in this color, and you're pretty much letting the manufacturer tell you what color you're trying to get. So I just want to point out how this manganese violet if I started with this, would immediately be wrong. Do you see how starting with this manganese violet is not the right color already? In order to mix this purple, we need to pull out our reds and our blues. So I generally only keep 2 blues in my palette. My janky little one that I love so much. And I keep a few different reds. So I have a cadmium red, a carmine red, and a rose, which is kind of a magenta color. And to mix up this purple, we first have to identify what it is. So this is a pretty vivid purple, but it's not this type of a purple. So this color requires its own colors. We'll get to it in a second. And this is important because you have to know what colors you have and what colors you don't have. So you're not trying to create something that you actually just can't make based on the colors you have. So, all right, so we're gonna mix up a ultramarine blue, which is a warm blue. And we're gonna use some of this carmine, which is a cool red, meaning it leans towards blue. And we're gonna mix that up as our starting point. And you can see right off the bat that I got the right color, just using those 2 colors. So ultramarine blue and carmine. Okay, so next up I would like to do this hound's tongue. And this hound's tongue is a very, very red purple, and it's also a really dull purple. So to achieve this purple, we are going to mix up our cadmium with our cerulean. And that is too dull of a purple. A purple nonetheless. A lot of people think that these really muddy purples, or they call them muddy, but they're really just dull purples. So we're gonna go with a different color. So we're gonna go back to the carmine red, and we're gonna use that cerulean blue. That's perfect too. And this color is exactly the purple we are aiming for. So the next flower that we are going to paint is this beautiful lupin. So one of the things a lot of painters struggle with is mixing light purples that don't turn chalky or dull. And this is usually because they're using the wrong pigment or they don't understand how to adjust value. So before we get to mixing, something really, really, really critical for you as a painter to understand is that when you are lightening or darkening a color, you don't want to add black to darken it. If you're using watercolor to add white, you just need to add more water to your mix. And if you're using other pigment-based mediums like oil or acrylic, you are going to want to add white to it to lighten it. But adding black is an immediate way to dull your pigments. So we are actually going to just start with the mixture that we had for the pigmentin, and that was the carmine and the ultramarine blue. You can see that that is a pretty dark purple. I'm gonna add a little bit more of that red to it. This color is perfect for some of the petals on here. And there you go, that is the purple that we are looking for. Okay, so the last flower that I wanted to mix with you guys is this sticky rose magenta, or this, sorry, sticky geranium, which got a little beat up in the process and is kind of wilting. I think I smashed it with my journal a little bit. But you can see that it is actually more of a magenta, or some people like to call it fuchsia color. And you are not gonna get there with the red and blues that we used. Well, the blues you can, but this needs to start with a magenta color. So this is a rose color, which is pretty much a magenta, and you can see that that is too magenta for this. But if you add a little bit of blue to that, just a little bit, you are going to get much closer to that magenta color of this flower. So that's what I'm saying, that if you know and understand your pigments, you know what colors you can make from the colors you have, as opposed to flailing and failing and feeling frustrated that you're not mixing a color when in fact you actually don't even have the right colors to begin with to make it. All right, well that is it for this video. I have really enjoyed painting these purple flowers with you. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and liking. It really helps me get the word out and helps more people just like yourself paint more and paint better. Which leads me to the question of this video. Have you ever struggled with painting purple? And what is your biggest takeaway from this video? Drop a comment below, I would love to read it. And if you missed last week's video on the controversy between the red, yellow, and blue system versus the cyan, magenta, and yellow system, it will give you a little bit more insight into these beautiful magenta sticky geraniums and give you a lot of other insight into the giant controversy between those two systems. So if you want to watch that, you don't have to go anywhere. You can just click on it because it's coming up right now.